show all about making your own glitter embellishments, and I'm going to start with this 3x4 cut apart sheet from the crepe paper the Pier collection. And I'm going to be using a specialty embossing powder made by Judikins called Sticky Stuff. It's also known as heat and stick powder when it's sold by Stampin' Up. And I'm going to use this to emboss with glitter. And essentially how this embossing powder works is you heat it once and it gets sticky. You can put something over the top of it, and then if you heat it again, it seals that thing that you put over top of it shut in a clear embossing powder. So I'm starting with this 3x4 card that has a little piece of washi tape accent in the upper left corner. And I'm going to use this chevron stamp from My Favorite Things, and I'm just going to stamp it over that little washi tape accent. And I'm using the Ranger Big and Bossy tinted embossing pad, and it's blue, and for me that just helps me see a little easier. I've taken 2 sheets of printer paper, folded them in half, and then rubbed over the crease with my embossing buddy, which is an anti-static bag. You have to work pretty quickly when you work with this embossing powder, so it's good to prepare as much as possible ahead of time because you don't have a lot of time once you start heating. So I'm going to stamp with my tinted embossing powder. Then I'm going to put my heated embossing powder over it. Then I'm going to quickly remove that sheet, dump the powder back in, and set it aside. Next, I'm going to get my glitter ready, and then I'm going to heat my stamp because I'm going to need to move quickly. And I'm going to heat it right on top of the paper that I'm going to use to catch my glitter. And that way I'll be totally ready to go once it gets sticky. And you'll know it's sticky because it turns clear. So once it turns clear, you can just put your glitter or flock or, whatever, micro beads, whatever you want to stick to it, right on top. And then you heat it again and it will turn hard. It'll have the same exact consistency as clear embossing powder normally does, and your glitter will be trapped inside of it. So here we have a glitter chevron accenting this plain 3x4 cut apart card from the crepe paper Pier collection. And it just really elevates it and gives it that extra oomph. I was going to say that sparkle, but it's glitter, so that seems like maybe not the best choice. So now I have a floral stamp from the My Mind's Eye Up and Away collection, and I'm going to stamp it with the same tinted embossing powder. And then I'm going to go over it with the same Sticky Stuff embossing powder. And then I'm going to heat it up. And again, you saw that it turned clear. And you because of my tinted embossing powder, you can see it pretty well even on camera. I'm going to put my glitter on top. And after I tap off the excess, I check to make sure there's no naked areas where there's no glitter at all. And I'll go back and put more glitter on to fill in those spots if there are any like that. Then I heat it again, and that seals the glitter in. So I have this beautiful glitter floral accent now. You can also do it with letters to make title journaling spots. This is the Stepping Stone alphabet from Hero Arts for Studio Calico, and I'm just going to write notes, spell out notes with the stamps, and then I'm going to put that right on top of another little washi piece of tape accent on one of the 3x4 cards, and it's a journaling type card, so notes works really well here. Again, I'm using the tinted embossing powder, and I'm going to heat it. And then once it becomes sticky, I'm going to put glitter on top of it. And I heated it off camera. I don't know why. Probably it was faster. And now I'm going to heat it again. And I heat from the back and the front so that you can get a nice coverage. And so there you can see how that turned out. The next technique is we're going to use loose glitter with dry adhesive, such as glue dots, miracle tape, score tape, even ATG. And so what I've done is I've taken a craft tag and I've drawn a chevron pattern on it. And now I'm just taking my score tape and I'm going to line it up on the tag following the chevron pattern that I've drawn out. And to make a chevron pattern like this, all you need is a right angle. It's just a right angle. So just find anything with a corner, basically, and you can get the look. I'm just going to speed up the camera just a little bit. I used the tag from the Tim Holtz for Sizzix tab and tag die. So that's what this is. And that way you can cut out a bunch of tags and you can experiment with them. And if something, you know, happens that you that you don't like, you don't feel as bad about maybe putting it in the trash as you would if it was a pre-bought store-made tag. Once I've got all of my pieces of tape down, I'm just going to trim the edges with my craft knife to neaten them up. And then it's just as simple as peeling back the adhesive and dumping glitter on the area that's now sticky. And when I do glitter with dry adhesive, I always use my finger to really push the glitter into the dry adhesive. What that does is it flattens out the glitter pieces, and the flatter glitter is, the more sparkly it is. So it's going to give it maximum sparkle if you really push and burnish with your finger. And the other thing that it's going to do is by really pushing them into the adhesive, you're going to reduce the amount that the loose glitter will shed on your final project. So you get very little shedding if you burnish with your finger and get it really pushed in there, you know. So you get more sparkly glitter and less loose glitter falling all over. So it works out really, really nicely. You can see how sparkly it is even on camera, you know, it's showing as really, really sparkly. And it gives you a really, really fantastic look. So that is the loose glitter with dry adhesive like a score tape. And now I'm going to show you loose glitter with a dry adhesive like a glue dot. So basically I'm just taking mini glue dots right out of the package. As I'm tearing them off in a strip, and I'm centering that strip right on my tag and burnishing it with my finger, and then I'm removing the backing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue to tear off the strips and adhere them to the tag. I'm just going to slightly offset them so that it's not straight rows of polka dots. It's polka dots, you know, in a more, well, there you can see how they're offset. That's just going to give it a better pattern, and it'll look more fun than if it was all just rows of polka dots marching straight across the tag. And then once I've got the whole thing covered with my dots, it's real easy to go in and fill in any areas that I'm missing. Once the majority of the pattern is down, it becomes a lot easier to fill in where here and there where you have a dot. It's a lot harder to get a look like this if you're trying to put all the dots down yourself, you know. So you can see how I'm going to just fill in here and there where I think another dot would want to go. And then I'm going to just do the same thing as I did with the score tape, which is I'm going to trim around the edges, and then I'm going to dump the glitter on top, and then I'm going to burnish it with my finger. Now, glue dots are not as soft as score tapes, so you have to be a lot more aggressive in pushing the glitter down into glue dots than you do with score tape. With score tape, you pretty much just rub with your finger once and you get great coverage. With glue dots, usually it takes me a couple passes. So you can see how it's sparkly, but it's not as sparkly as the tape was. And that's just because the glue dots are kind of a more rigid material, so the glitter doesn't really want to stick to them quite as much. So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to press this really hard down into the glitter that's still left on my page. Right now I'm just doing the whole reinforcer. And then I'm going to go back and press down all the dots into the glitter on the page to get better coverage. And also you want to do this because you don't want the dots to have any sticky left, or else they'll stick to things on your project. So you want to keep pushing it down until the glitter is completely covering all the sticky areas. And then I just use a soft bristled brush to get rid of any excess glitter. So there's using dry adhesive to decorate your projects. So the last one is loose glitter die cuts. We're going to use loose glitter to make die cuts. And I'm starting with 2-inch miracle tape. And I'm just going to completely cover this scrap piece of paper with the 2-inch tape. And you don't necessarily need 2-inch tape to do this. You can use any width of tape because the lines in the adhesive will not show when you die cut it after you put glitter on top. I'm using the 2-inch because that's the widest I have. And so it just takes less time, less passes with the tape to completely cover the sheet is all. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dies I'm going to use, and these are coming from a Sizzix collection. And I'm just cutting out the pieces that I'm going to cut them out with. So I just put the die right on the piece and I just cut around it. And that way I know I'm getting the right size. And then I put the die blades up on my machine, and then I put the paper tapes down on top of the blades. These machines cut best when the blades are up. And so since we're trying to cut through cardstock plus tape, you want to make sure you get it the best pressure. So I'm going to start with these clouds, and I'm just going to put white glitter on top. And all the glitter I've been using in this video is from the Martha Stewart glitter set. And so I'm just going to push, again, I'm burnishing with my finger. I'm going to get that glitter pressed down nice and tight on the cloud so that it doesn't shed too much, and so that the cloud is really sparkly. And so you can kind of see how I've got a sparkly cloud there. And then I'm going to take the smaller cloud and I'm going to do it in a softer blue sort of color. And then the two of them I can layer together and have a really cool custom look. So again, I'm just kind of pressing the glitter down into the die cut. And then you can see how layered over each other, it just gives such a fun look. And this Sizzix set is called Arrows, Banners, Chevrons, and Clouds is what it's called. And it's basically got arrows, banners, chevrons, and clouds in it. So I guess that really works as a name. So I'm starting with the chevron, and the chevron, I'm just peeling off one tape backing at a time. So I'm going to make kind of an ombre glitter piece now. So I started with a darker blue, and now I'm going to go with a lighter blue. And again, I burnish, and you don't have to worry about your glitter colors mixing together if you're doing the burnishing. You can see how my blue at the bottom is still blue, and they didn't blend together. So, you know, if you burnish it, that's another thing, because you've really completely covered all of the adhesive. You don't have to worry about the glitters mixing together too much. And then I'm using a light bluish silver on the top piece. And again, I'm really burnishing it really well to make sure everything is covered and I'm not going to have too much glitter shedding. And that piece would look so cool on a layout as a layer in a cluster or anything that you wanted. So now I'm taking this banner piece and I'm very lightly with my craft knife just cutting the tape backing. I'm not cutting the cardstock. So I'm using very light pressure here. You can always go back and cut deeper. Okay, so start off lighter than you think you need to. And so now I'm going to peel off just that top piece. And I'm going to do that in gold so that the string for my banner is going to be gold. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to burnish it really well with my finger. I mean, I really press hard here, you guys. I really rub it hard. And so once that's done, then I can go back through and remove the score tape backing from the banners themselves. And I could do each banner in a different color if I wanted to, but for the simplicity of the video, and so the video is not like 45 minutes long, I'm going to do them all the same color, and I'm going to use a nice blue for that. And blue and gold is a really popular color combination right now. And you can see I had that chevron piece, and I was thinking about masking off part of the tape to make them different colors on the banners themselves, which you definitely can do. you can do it so that the banners have polka dots or whatever. All you have to do is mask off part of the adhesive and then go back with a second color, kind of like how we did when we did the ombre chevron. And there we have a two-tone glitter banner. So now what we're going to cover is how you would maybe use some of these glitter die cuts. So here I have one that I've cut with a camera die from My Favorite Things. And I'm just going to put Scotch Quick Dry on the back side. That's the side that's just the cardstock, so that it's taped side up. And I'm just going to glue it to another one of those 3x4 cut apart tags from the crepe paper, the Pier collection. And so I'm going to make sure that it's nice and glued down. And then I cut two of them because I didn't know which camera would look best on that card. And once I made my decision, I can put the one I didn't use. I just put it back in the packaging with the dies, so I have it ready to go for another project. So then all you have to do is peel the tape off once your glue is dry, and then you're ready to go. And you can just put glitter on top and burnish it with your finger, and you've got a great custom die cut piece on your 3x4 card. So you can see how awesome it looks there. It even has a little bit of extra dimension because it is up on cardstock. So here's all the cards that we did all together now. And so now I'm going to show you another thing you can do with glitter die cuts, and that is to use scalloped circles. This is the smallest scallop circle from the small scallop circle sets by Spellbinders. And I'm just cutting them in half to make little half moon shapes. And I'm going to put glitter over the top of them. And that's going to be how I create a scallop circle glitter banner. And it's such a fun, cute look. And once again, I am, just sprinkling on the glitter. And this is yellow barite is the color. There's two kind of gold colors. One's much more yellow and one's much more metallic. And this yellow barite is the one I've been using, which is the golder, yellower gold. And I just dump the glitter right on top. And then again, I'm just going to burnish it with my finger. I'm being really careful to make sure the edges are well burnished because I don't want to lose my shape. I chose a scallop circle on purpose, so I want to make sure it still looks like a scallop when I'm done. And then once I've cut them or burnished them all, I'm going to take liquid glue, and I like Scotch Quick Dry for this, and a piece of baker's twine, and I'm using twine from the Twinery, and this is a turquoise color. And I just run a thin line of glue at the top of the die cut piece, and then I press the twine into the glue, and then I space my next piece out where I want it, and I do the same thing, and then I just keep repeating that until I have all of my pieces in my banner. And I like to do these in odd numbers, so I would do either 3 or 5, and in this case I'm going to do 5. Are glued to my string. Then all I'm going to do is just trim it off, and I've got an adorable little pre-made glitter scallop banner. And you can do this with regular scallops and regular banners, and it just is a fun look. So let's recap everything that we've done in this project. So we covered making your own glitter die cuts with score tape and your dies. That's how we made both of these banners. We also made the clouds that way, and that's how the two of them look layered together. So pretty. And just plain white cardstock. We also talked about how you can use dry adhesive like score tape, ATG, Miracle Tape, and glue dots to make your own custom shapes or tags. Here's another glitter die cut used to accent a 3x4 cut apart card. Here's how it looks if you use your alphabet stamps and that Judikins sticky stuff embossing powder or any stamp to dress up simple 3x4 cut apart cards to give them that extra special oomph. I hope you enjoy making your own glitter embellishments. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great holiday weekend. Pictures follow at the end.